Here we are, June 2024. So some of the topics that we're going to be covering today, we're going to recap what we did this month, cover Emblem Vault V1, Emblem Markets, Emblem Vision, right? What is that? Koval, Emblem V2 systems, and then what are we expecting for Q3? So first and foremost, we're saying goodbye to Emblem Legacy, RIP, all of those pains that came with Emblem Legacy, at the time was just called Emblem Vault, are going away. Say goodbye to all of the scams that used to take place on V1, all of the manipulative tactics, all the empty vaults. That is a thing of the past. There is no way. It's actually kind of funny because we get the old Pepe guys coming in and they ask how to verify vaults, and some of the people still have just PTSD from purchasing fake vaults, myself included. Before I joined Emblem, I'd done that. So it's a huge security upgrade. Actually, Adam brought this up. I didn't even realize this. July 13th will be our 1-year anniversary from starting this migration process, and holy Jesus, what a process it has been. It's gonna be almost to a T 1 year that we've done all of this. So saying goodbye to Emblem Legacy, 52,000 ETH traded across that collection, 53,000 vaults minted, 215 unique collections were vaulted in Emblem Legacy, and we have about 55% of the migration complete. Adding some notes here. So 215 collections vaulted. We just found out this number over this month. We've built an internal Emblem Explorer, which we've now properly indexed all of the assets, or I guess 99% of them, that exist in the Emblem Legacy collection. So 215 unique collections across 12 different blockchains and a handful of other random protocols that were associated with that. We will be migrating the remaining of them. Basically, how this is going to work here, we are almost done with Namecoin, and what we're going to do is we're going to migrate all the Namecoin collections. Then we're going to go over to Counterparty. We're going to stand up the remaining Counterparty collections, migrate those. Then we'll go to Bitcoin Ordinals and migrate those 5 collections. Then we'll have maybe 2 to 3% of the remaining legacy collection, which is assorted between Mona Party, Litecoin Ordinals, Tezo, Solana, and Bitcoin Cash. It really assorts to like maybe 1 or 2% of those. And then the fraudulent vaults that are left over. So we're going to have to figure out those at a later date, but we will make sure that those are migrated. But we want to get the bulk collections over as we move forward here. So man, what a time, what a historic collection. 52,000 ETH. We had over almost 14,000 owners at what point on this collection. Adam, any final words to Emblem Legacy before we finally say goodbye? Because by the time we do this show next month, it'll be a thing of the past.
It's so amazing, the transformation, because like literally in 21, although collecting Pepes, I don't think I have it. You probably can't find a tweet from me in 21 recommending people buy Pepes, because there were so many scams and people just getting wrecked, and you just had to have a deep knowledge of how to verify vaults and stuff. And so it's really what people were crying for back then. It's really amazing to finally like move forward in a way that for users, buyers, new people coming in, it's going to be a painless and safe experience. Like this was the dream. And so it's just amazing, that just Shannon's been able to, pull this off. It's amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Also, stamps will be migrated as well. I forgot to mention them. There's so many unique collections in there. E-scriptions. That wasn't on Legacy though.
Yep.
So saying goodbye. Emblem Legacy is exit only, so you can unvault. You've always been able to unvault. There is no minting. You can also leave your assets in there if they're not migrated for some reason. They're safe. They can hang out there. Emblem Legacy will be in maintenance mode, which means it'll exist. It just will not receive any future upgrades because of its antiqued nature, I guess you would say. So what happened in June? So a handful of things. Our Emblem dashboard, which is our internal tool, we perform some upgrades on. These are things that are collection deployments, updates, and management. So some things like metadata, pushing new contracts. We're building a whole backend system that is for the no coders like ourselves on the screen, who can push some really cool stuff. It's really, really forward thinking kind of technology. We did build our Emblem Explorer. This is our vault indexing, tracking, and management tool. Koval was delisted from Coinbase. Unfortunately, we still have no idea why. We found out just like everybody else did on Twitter. I actually think I found it. I think Adam DM'd me actually. Was like, "Whoa, what is this?" I was like, "Holy crap, I don't know." I've gone through. I'll cover that in a little bit, but the trading ends July 19th. Namecoin metadata. I think we've almost finally completed this. So images, we created images for non-standard data files. So this is things like .bit and puny codes and .ids. There's no image on chain for these. So from some collaborative effort within the community, they provided the image generator, and then Shannon ran with it and was able to create images for .bit, .id, and puny codes that will appear when you mint a vault. We can also take this tool and apply it to other things in the future when we add additional collections. So shout out to the Namecoin community for coming through on that. And then we have a bunch of partnerships. I'm not joking, guys, when I say I'm literally on 3 to 4 calls a day, Monday through Friday. This is not a joke. I literally had to get up at 4 a.m. the other day to talk to people across the world. So there's a lot of things going on here.
I mean, we're seeing, Jake, right? The idea of cross-chain, digital items is happening, right? And so people are very much in the figure it out stage. We just saw it with Goblin Town, right? Goblin Town's using layer 0 to go cross-chain. We think Emblem's we're in a much better position to do that for NFTs, to keep the provenance and stuff. And people are just starting to figure out, well, how do we do meme coins cross chains and stuff? So yeah, it really feels like this cycle is going to be a cross chain cycle. And so very, very excited.
To me, it's just undoubtedly so obvious what's going on with cross-chain stuff, right? I noted Bob and the ICP team collabing with Tap to do some sort of Emblem style kind of cross-chain tool, although theirs has much more programmability, it sounds like, with smart contract functions. But there's a lot of teams now circling around this idea of, hey, how do I take an asset? And I think a lot of people are kind of now circling around NFTs. Hey, how do I take this NFT and take it to different chains so I can play in all these different farming mechanisms, or I could go stake it, or I could go do yield. If you read the Goblin Town post when they announced their Goblin portal, at the very end of it, they actually say this specific reason why they created this tool is so you could take your goblins to blast, so you can participate in farming. And then as these protocols pop up on all these other L2s, you could take your goblin and do it. And this is something we've been talking about for over a year now at this point. This is the whole reason why we started the migration, or one of the reasons. So really cool to see now that coming to fruition. Emblem, I believe, is in the best position to do this, as we have 4 years of experience and 100 million in TVL. So really, really exciting times. Moving on, Emblem Markets is launching July 2nd, 2024. So next Tuesday, it will be live public beta. So what does that mean? Public beta means we are launching this with the knowledge that there will probably be some small bugs. Maybe there will be some features that we need to add over time, or there are some things that the community dislikes. So it's basically this public incubation period where we're taking all recommendations. We highly encourage the community to participate in this. Really, we went into this building a chain agnostic marketplace, knowing this has never existed before. And it took a while to figure out how to hide the quote unquote the wires behind everything, and to try to make it this really kind of uniform experience. And as we expand, right, we're going to try to really create something truly unique that does not exist anywhere else, utilizing Emblem Vault technology. So couldn't be more excited. It's been quite a process. Really shout out to Shannon, and also biggest shout out to Bunzi, who is the front end developer on this, and Hike. If you're familiar with Hike, he's helped out with the design on a few Bitcoin protocols. They really did a good job on this, and couldn't be more excited. Cool part here, it's going to be mobile ready. Emblem, if you right, the fact that Emblem's made it, I've said this many times, but the fact Emblem's made it this far without a mobile experience is truly, it's still one of the most stunning things I've ever seen in this space. So really excited for that, and it looks really good on mobile as well. There's going to be a 1% marketplace fee. So we want to remain competitive. We actually wanted to do 0%. This was like, we wanted to do just a truly free marketplace, and basically just the enter and exit fees or vaulting fees would be how we monetize. Ultimately, we couldn't come to an agreement with our infrastructure provider on that. So we have to stick it to 1% for now. And eventually we can add some sort of tokenization and memberships towards bringing that down to 0.5%. And maybe over time, bring it down to 0% if our infrastructure provider agrees to that. We tried as hard as we could to. We really wanted 0%, but unfortunately could not initially get that. Emblem Vault is a aggregator, or Emblem Markets is going to be an aggregator. So this means that on the marketplace itself, it will show listings for OpenSea, Emblem Markets, Magic Eden, Blur, Luxor, X2Y2, and pretty much all collections that use Seaport, which is pretty much like 95% of the market. All is built off of Seaport. The note I want to mention here is that if you want the 1% marketplace fee, you have to list it natively on Emblem Markets. If you go list a vault on, let's go say you go list a rare Pepe on OpenSea, and it's purchased on Emblem Markets, you still have to pay OpenSea that 2.5%. So just keep that in mind, that it has to be listed natively if you want to save on 1.5% fees. Blur does not list ERC 1155, so that rare Pepe and fake rares and the counterparty collections will not be on Blur. For us, Emblem Markets is a way to really package together everything that we've been doing in a really nice and clean interface. We will only be supporting Emblem Vault collections initially. We do have plans to expand potentially into native PSBT markets, right? Like counterparty and ordinals and doginals and etc. And we would like to do that. It'll be a little bit of an R&D on our side. And I know there's other, this has been a big question on our side, is will we be able to list Rare Pepe natively when counterparty has PSBTs? And it's just a research that we have to conduct. We would love to. That's intentionally the plan. There's been a handful of people who've reached out and said, hey, I would like to, trade my Rare Pepes natively or vaulted all in one experience. And we believe that's also probably the best path forward. So it's just going to take a little bit of time. We will gradually grow towards that experience. And then on Emblem Markets, there's going to be an application store, which will feature products that Emblem has built, we have built ourselves, as well as partners and applications or third-party partnerships that leverage our SDK. There's two that I'm aware of that are kind of getting close. So those will be featured. We also have Pepe.wtf and HNFT.wtf will be featured on our app store, as they're our close partners, and they index for vaults themselves. Even if they are quote unquote a competitor, if they're listing native assets or whatever, for us, it's all about growing the pie, and we're going to continue to grow this all together. We can worry about splitting it up at a later date. Adam, any comments on markets? I see over there looking at it.
Well, it's just so amazing that we're here, right? I mean, it's like when we joined, we hear the stories of like, the idea of an Emblem, marketplace, a truly multi-chain marketplace has literally been an idea for 5 years, right? And so it's for to finally be here, it's great. Like, it feels great, right? I mean, we know that Magic Eden obviously has had some success with multi-chain. They're the leader now. They've basically overcome OpenSea. OpenSea, was flat-footed. They got their lunch eaten. And I think we're at that point now where when we launch this, with a unique twist on the multi-chain experience, I think we have an incredible chance to do something different. And whether it succeeds or not, who knows, right? But the ability to bring this vision of a cross-chain marketplace to light is it's pretty special.
Yeah. So just for an example to kind of explain where the vision is going, I'll use Magic Eden example just because they're kind of the leader. When you go on Magic Eden, you see there's 5 checkboxes where there's base, ordinal, or Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. For Emblem, it's all going to be just one collection. So even if Emblem deploys on 40 different chains, there's only going to be one Rare Pepe collection. And the whole goal, I think the long-term goal here is, let's say you want to go buy a Nakamoto card. It'll show you that I think right now there's 100 Nakamoto cards vaulted. So that accounts for like, $20 million in vaulted value there. And so it'll show you, it'll say there's 5 Nakamoto cards on base, there's 3 on mainnet, there's 3 on Bitcoin, there's 3 native, there's 25 that are on blast farming. And when you purchase, the longer term vision would be to be able to list in any currency and purchase in any currency. I think we have a solution, but it's a little bit further down the road. So the whole idea, one collection for as many blockchains as possible, and it's the user's choice to receive the asset on any chain that they want and also purchase in any token that they want. We have also one other final note here. We're in early discussions of creating something called the boutique storefront. So if you're an artist here, right? There's been a few creators who have come to us and they said, hey, I have a meme coin on this chain. I create assets on this Y chain and Z chain. So how do we kind of package it all together? And so we want to be a place to where that could potentially happen. So boutique storefronts, this would be great for like, people who are minting assets on Bitcoin, but they have a community meme coin on Solana. And so how do you really package that together? And I think the Emblem boutique storefronts will have some cool applications and offerings for that. Emblem.vision will be the rebranded version of Emblem.finance. So we're also going to be saying goodbye to Emblem.finance and moving to Emblem.vision for the new front end. We are maybe a day or two away from taking this over. So this will also be launched in early July as well. We've completely reimagined the experience. Hopefully this is less confusing or a little bit more appropriate to kind of the options that we have. When you go onto Emblem.vision, there's going to be 3 options. It'll say there's going to be project collections that you could vault into. This is like Rare Pepe, Spells of Genesis, Node Monkeys, Bitcoin Punks, Litecoin Punks, Doginals, etc. You have a generalized protocol collection. So if you click on that, it'll say Bitcoin Ordinals, Counterparty, Dogecoin, Ethereum, eScriptions, etc. The protocol collections, you can vault any asset from that collection. Literally any asset, any amount that you want. These are the general collections. And the reason why we did this is the reason why Emblem is successful is a lot of randomness and experimentation. And we don't want to just have a collection full of just whitelisted projects or allow listed projects because it really cuts off the like permissionless nature of experimentation. So the protocol collections are general. As long you could vault any asset from that protocol into that collection. And then Emblem Open is just kind of Emblem Legacy V2 in the way that these vaults will have every deposit address that we support. So you can vault in the Emblem Open collection 50 Pepe Cash, two CryptoPunks, a Bitcoin, Solana NFTs, meme coins. You can put that all into a single vault using Emblem Open. This also will be mobile ready. So both products will be available on mobile. You'll have emblem.markets and then emblem.vision. Think of emblem.vision as a creation and management platform for Vault, whereas emblem.markets is a marketplace and application store. Over time, we will fold these into one unique website. The time is not now. We just need to scale a little bit further to be able to do that. 2 new features on the emblem.vision platform. One is a vault activity page. You will be able to see the entire ecosystem wide vault minting, unvaulting, and vault creation activity page. This is great for people who are, kind of just traders or observers. If you can see that a Nakamoto card is being vaulted, then maybe you'll be the first to purchase it when it's listed. Or you just want to see kind of what's trending, what's hot, what are the new cross-chain kind of mints that are happening. Like this kind of nature allows you to literally see on demand what vaults are being minted and unvaulted. So really, really cool experience. And we're also going to loop it into Emblem.markets. So if you see a Nakamoto card that's vaulted, you'll be able to click on the vault, and then you just go directly to Emblem.markets to that person's wallet, and you can just kind of see the assets themselves. So we're going to create a cool loop. We're also going to have a leaderboard, and the leaderboard will initially show most vaults owned, most vaults minted, and most unvaults. And the reason why we did this is for future gamification, future rewards, future things we'll talk about here in a little bit, as well as this is also great for traders and collectors. If you see this one wallet on the leaderboard has 2,000 vaults minted, you could just click on the wallet address. It'll take you to Emblem.markets, and you could just go peek through their wallet, and then you could just go throw up bids there. So again, another cool kind of experience for the Emblem ecosystem. These two features we just announced are a little bit more catered towards our power users, and this is something we really believe in. Is the people who got us here were the people who were minting tons of vaults, the people who believed in us, and we want to create additional tooling for our power users so that they can have the most visibility and discoverability and functionality for cross-chain applications. So couldn't be more excited. Also, right there on the homepage, it'll show the supported networks. And we have, stamps, SRC20, LTC20. Those will be added over in July. Just kind of a note here so that you could kind of spread the word here. On our Emblem Explorer, we're gonna be building in some sort of API to where we could just plug in the API, an open source API. So for example, the stamps community just open source their API. Next month, we'll plug that in. And then that means you can vault any asset that their protocol API is indexing. So this will also be applicable to SRC20. So couldn't be more excited for this as well. Again, been a long road, been working on this for about 8 months or so, and finally taking it over.
I think you'll just see from a user experience, and anybody who created vaults a year or so ago, it just could get clunky, meaning that, okay, am I doing it right? Do I have the right image? Do I have the right title? All that sort of stuff where you could make mistakes. There were wrong titles, different titles. This just clarifies all of that. So if you're minting a Nakamoto, there's zero mistake possible, right? You send in the asset, the listing, the image, the everything is 100% right. It's just it takes away that user error potentiality, which I think is just and just speeds the whole thing up. Just a couple buttons easy. It's way better.
Yep. Shannon's GigaBrain mind created something called dynamic vaults. So if you're and what this means is for the protocol and project collections, so pretty much 99% of the collections, whatever asset you vault, the metadata will update to what's inside upon mint. So I'll use two examples here. If I send 52 Pepe Cash to a counterparty collection, or in the counterparty protocol collection, the metadata will show 52 Pepe Cash in the vault. The images for that, we still have to kind of figure out how we want to go about multiple assets inside of a vault. We might just have to literally have it text-based to just say 52 Pepe Cash, because here's the situation, right? If you put 100 Pepe Cash, 2 Nakamoto cards, and 2 Bitcoins in a vault, it's like what image do you display there? And there's only one, or ERC 721 does not support multiple images on a token standard. I do think there is a team. What team was that? I forgot what team that was that created that for Seneca, but it's not something that we've implemented yet. So some of the images we still have to figure out, but the metadata and everything will update. And we're also creating something on the back end that if you do get in a situation where, the metadata is not properly displaying, just please open a support ticket in our Discord and we can fix that for you on the back end. So Emblem.vision coming next month. Koval, here we are. So
Let's
Koval,
go.
oh man. So I've been getting so many messages. It's been a long few weeks, or I guess it's only been 2 weeks since that delisting announcement happened. So Koval was around like a $40 million market cap. I think now it's fallen to between 15 to 20 upon the announcement of that delisting. I've gone through all channels to try to figure out what's going on here. I've emailed, I've been on multiple phone calls, transferred to the business department, transferred to their partners at the partnership department. It seems like nobody really knows or wants to explain the reason. We have been assigned a case ticket and I'm waiting to hear back from management. I've tried emailing them twice, still have not heard back since the case number has been assigned. There are other community members who have also tried to go through different avenues to figure out what the issue is. And it seems like everyone is still getting the same thing. That is the response is basically saying, we're not going to tell you what the reason is. So we're kind of in the dark here. I don't really know what it is. I do want to say though, that Emblem does not own 40% of the supply like people are claiming. We're not scamming you. There's people, and if there's anyone out there DMing you claiming to be working with us regarding Koval, that is also false. There's people who've DM'd me saying that they're being DM'd by appears to be some hedge funds claiming to be working with us. We are not working with them. There's no Koval partnerships that are out there, point blank. That is not true. So if anyone says that is not true. I can't be more straightforward with that. Koval in the future will have revamped tokenomics and mechanics. This is something we've been saying for over a year now. I know people are probably going to hate me. There's somebody here in the live stream calling Koval a scam. There's people calling for me to go to jail. Whatever the case is, people are upset. I get it. But we've been firm. There will be new utility introduced once the Emblem V2 systems are online. The two previous slideshows are components of that. And then some of the few slides I will go into what the 2.0 system is. We're not going to be releasing any information regarding tokenomics privately. I'm getting millions of DMs, people asking for what the tokenomics are, people in the Koval chat asking for what the tokenomics are. We're only going to be releasing the tokenomics here publicly through the Emblem Twitter account or through our Townhall. We're not giving insider information to everybody. There's multiple reasons behind this. First, we're a US-based company and, regulatory oversight is still kind of a gray area here. We want to make this as fair as possible. So if there's any announcements regarding Koval tokenomics, they will be announced publicly via the Townhall or Twitter. Those two channels. Anything else, it's not going to happen. Again, point blank. If you keep asking me, I'm going to give you the same response I've told you for the past year. They will be announced publicly. And the reason why is that I'm not going to announce something that we're not 100% certain that is the path moving forward. There's a lot of people that have said, promises have been broken, past promises, whatever. The past is the past. If I'm running this company moving forward, I'm not going to announce something unless we're 100% confident that this is what's happening. So put that to rest. That's the best way moving forward. We've talked through tokenomics 400 different times. It's a unique position to be in because utility tokens across the industry are quite dead. I'm not aware of any utility tokens that are literally in the top 100, the top 100 on CoinMarketCap. The only ones in there are literally, it's like meme coins, layer ones, and governance tokens that also have no utility, right? So the whole entire industry, I think, is really trying to figure out what utility tokens mean. And we've talked about this on our show. I think this is probably the reason why there's a rise of meme coins, which are utility-less, because all of the broken promises over the last 2 cycles have not come to be true. And, using something as a gas token is largely outdated, right? This is why we removed Koval as a vault payment system, because it's just too much friction. People just want to pay in ETH. So we need to create these things here on the slideshow, which says our goals. So I'll read these off and then we could kind of go into it a little bit. So some of our goals with our future tokenomics and Koval. First, we have to align our Koval holders with the Emblem Vault success. Right now, there's a clear difference. Koval holders want the number to go up. Emblem Vault, the underlying technology, needs more vaults to be created. How do we pair this to where the Koval holders' incentives are in line with vault demand, right? So that's something that needs to be paired together. We need to be able to showcase Emblem features and products and tools. There's a real opportunity here that, we can create and we've talked through this privately and internally. There's very unique kind of tokenomic systems, incentive systems that we can produce purely just through Emblem Vault and not needing anything else, utilizing just Emblem.vision, Emblem Markets, some of our future products like time lock vaults, bulk minting tools, and then, a token or tokens to overlay it. And these are the type of things that we are looking at. Right? How do you create a positive feedback loop? You hear this kind of buzzword flywheel effect. This is the thing that everybody wants. The flywheel effect is just simply put as, how do you create an incentive system to where, vault demand equals the Koval value to appreciate, and it just keeps going over and over and over. There's only a handful of teams that have ever been able to achieve this. It's very difficult to do, but we are talking through all of these. How do we utilize Koval as an incentives mechanism? And then also at the end of the day here, we're a cross-chain protocol. We were the first cross-chain NFT protocol, probably one of the first NFT protocols to exist outside of a marketplace through my research, to be honest. Emblem Vault innovates, we experiment, and we're leading the cross-chain industry. And we're going to do these. Some people may not agree with the things that we're doing or the implementations, but we're innovators here at the end of the day, and we got to take some chances here. And if one of these hits, it hits really, really big. I mean, look at just Emblem's success in 2021 and 2022 of doing 20,000 ETH in volume in just like 2 months, right? That's like a positive flywheel effect. So we're going to experiment with future tokenomics. We're going to do things that have never been done before. And we hope that it has a positive use case. And we're going to introduce gamification and rewards. If if you live under a rock, then maybe you don't know that points are literally like one of the winning trends this cycle. We believe points are not going to go away. They'll probably change over time. And so we would like to leverage some of these prospects into a future incentive mechanism or a future incentive system that combines everything that we're doing here. So if what I just said is something you don't like, then I recommend to leave the ecosystem. We would like for everyone to stay here, but if these things on the slide does not resonate with what you thought Emblem was going to be, or you don't like the direction moving forward, then we recommend to leave the ecosystem. Adam, do you have any comments on Koval tokenomics, points, everything we're trying to do here, the chaos of Koval and Coinbase?
Well, I think at the core, you look at let's just take Pac-Man, for example. He's probably the best person in the industry at tokenomics, and he was absolutely crushed this week, right? This is really, really difficult, and there's nobody on earth who can just wave a magic wand and make these things happen. I think if you're betting on Koval or you're staying in the Emblem ecosystem, you're betting on us as a team, and to figure it out, and that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to figure it out. That involves, like, what's our core product, right? Our core product isn't tokenomics, right? Our core product is cross-chain digital items, right? That's what we're trying to figure out first and foremost. The tokenomics of Koval and stuff, those come along for the ride, and we're hoping to figure those out to create like that flywheel you just described. But really, it's a bet on the team at the core.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. So next, moving forward, Emblem Vault V2, right? So you keep hearing this term that is being shown. What does this mean? It basically means once we wrap up, right, we have Emblem Markets, that's one piece. Emblem.vision is two. And then the completion of the migration from moving all the assets from V1 contract to their 61 V2 contracts, right? Very complicated. So what happens with V2? So there's a handful of things that are going to happen here. So it's going to be an improvement on decentralization. There's a handful of central aspects to Emblem that we want to open up and remove Emblem from being. So there are improvements on the private key encryption and management systems. There's going to be a visible Emblem Explorer where you can actually see the on-chain transaction history, similar to something like an Etherscan. This will be likely deployed on an L2 somewhere. But again, right, what I'm saying here, some of these are still kind of in progress, but as I said in the very beginning of this, I've been on like 3 calls now, just strictly about multi-party computation and trustless execution environments. And it's not an easy process. Actually, just kind of a side note here, 2 of these leading experts we've talked with about MPC and TEEs, they're actually quite amazed of what Emblem is. Like it's quite astounding, like how far ahead Emblem was in 2020 and how far ahead it still is. And so we want to continue doing this, but we need to have increased decentralization and some more non-custodial aspects to it. That is something that is a focus moving forward. And then at the end of that, if decentralization is vault verification system. So this would be something like a node network. Again, these are not all coming at one time. This is probably over a multi-year kind of time span. Interoperability. So the ability to deploy Emblem Vault on any tokenized network. The key differentiator between Emblem and all the other bridges or all the other wrapped asset protocols or whatever the new interoperability protocols are to come is that Emblem can interact with any tokenized network. So this is UTXO based like Bitcoin. This is EVM based like Ethereum. This is SVM based like Solana, or you could be, I guess these new parallelized EVM networks and stuff. We can interact with anything. If there's a wallet and a token, Emblem can interact with it. So the Emblem 2.0 system will allow for this, right? Right now, Emblem exists only on EVM networks. And once we get the 2.0 system stood up, then you'll have Bitcoin-based vaults. You'll have Solana-based vaults. You could have Monad-based vaults. You could have literally any type of vaults that you want. Universal metadata standard. So I've talked about that I've been talking about that for months at this point. And the really cool part here, which I think is really kind of where the future of the industry is going, is cross-chain DeFi applications. So, right, you could say something like an Aave, but it accepts any type of token, or something like the DGods had announced with the D-Desk, where it's like using Emblem Vault for a P2P NFT swap, right? So swapping an ordinal for an ETH NFT using Emblem Vault, so things like this. And there's a handful of teams that are working specifically on this interoperability. Emblem Vault included, being kind of the glue for all of that. Programmability. So third-party applications via the Emblem SDK. There's one builder who should be releasing something here pretty soon. There's a handful of other builders like the DGods team who we've had many discussions with, and we've built what they needed, and it's kind of just in their hands to kind of go through the final step there. It's developer friendly. Other programmability aspects here, which is pretty cool, is like smart wallets. So we can add smart wallets inside of a vault. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's like the account abstraction wallets. So you can have kind of self-executing programmability inside of a vault. It sounds like a lot of buzzwords, but this just basically means you could put like a Uniswap inside of a vault and just do kind of weird, wild, crazy stuff. Smart wallets are very in its early stages. We just saw Coinbase come out with a smart wallet, but a lot of opportunity there. And then functionality. So the ability to introduce innovative features to Emblem Markets and Emblem Vision, like native cross-chain vault listings. This is what I mentioned earlier about being able to list a vault in any token, and then the buyer can pay in any token. Boutique creator storefronts. Also discussed that earlier about somebody like Dark Farms, who has created assets on ETH and Bitcoin, but has a meme coin on Solana. How do you bridge that all together? And we have some solutions for that on Emblem Markets. But again, we'll take some time, right? We're a small team of 5, so we'll take some time to get there. And then the final slide here, what to expect in Q3 of 2024. And also, if anyone wants to come up and ask questions, please just request to come up here and we can have a discussion on stage, or just post it on the live stream if you're watching the live stream, and we'll be sure to answer all of these. So the focus of Q3 is expansion, expansion, expansion. It's now taking Emblem to all these other ecosystems. Some new products, time lock vaults, bulk minting, jump features, right? So the ability to take a Nakamoto vault from Ethereum to Bitcoin to Solana to Base to Blast to wherever with the click of a button. That is, to me, kind of like one of these breakthrough features. It's actually what Bob Bodley was talking about in the snippet that I posted on my Twitter account today. We already have it built. We just got to build the back end of it is somewhat built, right? That's the jump feature is literally what the migration is. So we have migrated 25,000 vaults already. So you could say the jump feature has been used 25,000 times already. Fungible token support on Emblem Markets. I put this post out the other day about, turning Pepe Cash into an ERC20, turning Doggo to the Moon to an ERC20, turning Doge, just the asset itself, or Bell's Coin, the asset, into an ERC20. This is really exciting to me. I think this fungible token avenue makes Emblem extremely competitive, not just in the interoperability space, but in the kind of DeFi crypto protocol industry. If we can move fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens from any chain to any chain, there's literally no other product that can do that. And there's more on that to come here pretty soon. I do think there is some real opportunity. If you have a UTXO-based token and you want to bring it to Ethereum, then just reach out to us, because right now that's not a possibility. You do have wrapped Bitcoin that's done it through BitGo, but there's a reason why you've never seen wrapped Doge or wrapped Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, right? Some of these UTXO-based chains on Ethereum, because nobody could do it except for us right now. And there's probably some builders who are trying to tackle this as well. Or there's kind of maybe these niche bridges. But I'm very excited for that to become a reality. Emblem Market products. So we have our Vault Pad. We did that earlier this year with the embellishment and boutique storefronts. We want to take and deploy Emblem on a bunch of new chains, right? So we could take Emblem and deploy it on Blast or Base, right? Or Merlin or Bob or, XYZ kind of L2s. That's a big opportunity there because of the cheap gas fees. Also Solana as well. We want to add support for additional protocols. This means like you could deposit it inside of the vault. So some of these new chains, right, like Say or Monad or right, maybe, yeah, I would say it's more EVM and SVM based assets we can add support to, or some of these older chains, right, like Emercoin that was supposed to be added a long time ago, or that was in discussion a long time ago. So we want to add more support for that, and then launch more collections. So if you want to launch a collection on Emblem Markets, then just reach out to us. We're going to be able to do that directly, which is super cool. So please just reach out to anybody here. More partnerships and announcements, additional Emblem SDK builder integrations, right? So if you want to if you use our SDK, we will literally post your protocol directly on Emblem Markets App Store, so anyone can see it. We can also integrate it directly into Emblem Vision. So again, if you're encouraged by this, we're happy to integrate it into our systems to showcase it. Look at the Emblem SDK, and there's a handful of teams who are interested in this. So you wouldn't be the only one. Adam and I are going to be very busy over the next month creating a ton of educational content and videos. We
Gonna
know,
redo all the videos, bro. All the YouTube channel is gonna be wiped, man. It's like brand new from scratch. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
yeah, that's the benefit. One of the benefits to Emblem as well is, right, we have two kind of, leaders in the industry who host podcasts, myself and Adam, and so people enjoy our content, and we also have a reach that people will listen to the tutorials that we do. So, and now we have experience doing it. There's going to be links on Emblem Markets and Emblem.vision. So for people who get confused, they can just literally pull up a 3-minute video and watch it. More community engagement content, so more community spaces on our morning show, like the morning show we're doing now, which is exciting. There's going to be more activity from the Twitter account, right? It's been kind of slow over the last year, but now we can finally reactivate that. We're going to be redoing Emblem.pro, which is just like our landing page website, like you see for any protocol. We actually just talked with a pretty solid web developer. And so that process is underway and will hopefully be done by the end of July. So if you think about it overall, by the end of July, we'll be into Emblem V2 season. You'll have Emblem Vision up, Emblem Markets up, Emblem.pro is up. And I know it's all confusing. There's a lot of websites, but we could just think of it as, again, Emblem Markets, Marketplace, Emblem Vision, Creative Vault, Emblem Pro is the landing page. And then Covault Keys and the vaulting program. So Keys was the rune that we etched. I think it's like number 5078, which we're holding onto. And then the vaulting program is just something you guys will have to find out in Q3. And so without further ado, I don't know, Adam, you got any final comments on the expansion and finally getting into Emblem V2 season?